Welcome back, everybody. Check it out. This is what we got for today. So, kind of walk it through. We have one removal, that crispy white pine right there. Another one where the top blew out over there, and then a little cluster behind these oaks. There's a cherry, a small little oak that the cherry was growing on top of, in that there. And then you see that big old bendy thing, that is an elm tree. So all that's coming out. My boy Douglas over there getting his climbing gear. He's gonna be trimming a red oak in the back, and we have a couple more to take down back there, but relatively easy day, thankfully. So we'll see how it goes. One down, these two to go. You see this black cherry here growing right on top of this poor little oak. And it looks like we had some wire. There used to be a fence there, I guess. So that's not good. They're both coming down. We've got some good lean for us too. So we'll just send them out right in that gap. Well, not enough momentum, unfortunately. So we'll have to get that either pushed or pulled down. Here's that other one. It's like our boy Selwyn already pieced it out. And then picking that up. And then Douglas is gonna climb this big oak right here. Take out some of that lower dead crap. Easy stuff though. Yeah, boy. That was a close one on the hinge. It really didn't want to go. Well, we're on to plan B. Got a pull rope up in it. Give her a tug with the Avant. Should send it right over there. Because, as you can see, that little dead piece right there is angled. Actually, I don't even think it's dead. But it's angled just right. The way it goes to where it's like put enough pressure on this tree to not want to collapse on its own weight. And it didn't get enough momentum when it was falling to just brush by. So yeah, we'll get a pull on it and get it going. There she goes. Yeah, buddy. Remember to always stay clear. Have the helmet on, especially working in the woods. You never know what could happen. So looking at this, honestly, I probably should have angled the notch a little bit more that way. So my mistake there. I think I put it too forward, and I probably should have done it just a little bit more. Because I think that was probably the problem. I didn't have enough turn to get that limb to get off of the oak tree there. But otherwise, no harm, no foul. So let's go ahead and talk about this last tree for a second. There's something kind of important that needs to be said about trees like this that are very dead and very brittle. White pine is notorious for being extremely brittle, and especially when it's dead. But even when it's green, this pine tree will snap very, very easily. So a lot of us know that the higher we go with our tie-ins, the more leverage we'll get, and we have a perfect spot up there to throw it into. But when you have something this crispy and this dead, it's probably recommended you basil tie it. That way, as the rope runs down, and if you angle the rope just right, it'll put pressure along the whole entire stem as opposed to just the very top. So if you were to over pull, which is easy to do with something that's dead, the top could potentially snap if you were just to send a running bowline up. But by putting a basal anchor tie-in, you're actually gonna apply the force throughout the entire stem as opposed to just the top. Now that doesn't mean you can't over pull, you still can, but there's less of a chance of that top snapping if you were to do that. So it's a good little tip when you have dead trees like this and it requires a little bit of pulling. Just keep that in mind. Are you gonna go check this basal anchor? Alright, so another thing that needs to be said too is when you run this rope up, it's not ideal to run it on one side solely. So what I like to do is, like for example here, my throw line was on the left side where I threw it of this tree. So I ran the throw line, I manipulated it so it would fall on the right side, which is now our left. That way when we apply the pressure, it won't be solely on one side, because what happens is if it were to be on one side solely, sometimes you'll end up stripping all those limbs off. So if it was all on the right side, potentially we could snap all those limbs off, which would not be ideal. But by putting it on the opposite side of where it's hanging, you kind of, I don't know if it makes sense, the way that it's gonna pull is gonna be along this side and then over at the top point, and you kind of distribute it on this side, so you kind of lessen the chance of that rope just pulling one entire side and potentially stripping out all your limbs, which is very likely, especially on evergreen trees. So one last thing to mention before we cut, we're gonna do our notch beforehand, and then we'll have some pre-tension on this just so it doesn't want to sit back as we're doing a back cut. But it's important to stay away from the danger zone, meaning if that could potentially break, you don't want to be standing there. So you pre-tension away from the tree, and then you go to make your back cut, and then you tell them to pull a little bit more. You try to leave that hinge small, that way you don't have to go back under to cut, because dead trees like this could break really easy. So you definitely don't want to be under there. There we go. That's how you fell a dead tree. So we're just gonna play janitor. Really not exciting stuff. You guys have seen it probably a lot. So just stuffing shit in the grapple, you know. So I'm not really gonna show that, but we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.